Welcome to this session on Grammar 9. In this session, we will take a look at conditional tenses and subjunctive mood. Conditional tenses are used to indicate hypothetical events. Either these are events which are not likely to happen in future, or these are events which did not happen in the past. Or sometimes they are also used to indicate events which are based on a cause. So these sentences also indicate causal connections. So there is a cause followed by an effect. Let us see how to construct such conditional sentences. So conditional tenses are used to indicate hypothetical events, as I already told you. They have an if part and a then part. So generally the sentences will have two parts, one followed by the word if and the other followed by the word then. Construction of sentences in conditional tenses. It states a conditional sentence. For example, if I wake up early, I study. This is a typical cause and effect sentence. The part that is followed by the word if is the cause, and the part that follows after the comma is the effect. So if I wake up early, I study. That is the effect. If I reach early, I cook food. Cook food is the effect. Reach early is the cause. Such sentences are constructed in the following manner. The first part is in simple present and the second part also is in simple present. To generalize, we say if simple present, then simple present. And it states a causal sentence, which is in the form of a cause and an effect. Another use of conditional tenses is to make a prediction. For example, if I make a prediction, then the clause that follows the if word should be in simple present, and the clause that follows the comma always carries the words then, will, or, can, may, should, might, plus the base form of the verb. Let us see some examples of the sentence. If I reach home early today, I will cook food for everyone. So it makes a prediction that in the event that I reach home early today, I will cook food for everyone. So you see, the clause that follows comma has taken the word will, and the verb cook is in the base form. So I will cook food for everyone. Another example, if I reach home early today, I should cook food for everyone. So the clause that follows comma takes the word should. If I reach home early today, I may cook food for everyone. So it is if simple present, comma, then will, can, may, should, or might, plus the base form of word. A sentence in this form makes a simple prediction. We also use conditional tenses to indicate what is likely to follow in case of an unlikely event. So the statement which follows the word if can speculate about something that is unlikely to happen. If I reached home early, I would, could, might cook food for everyone. So look at this sentence. If I reached home early. This is in simple past, and this particular sentence means that I am unlikely to reach home early. But in case I do reach home early, I would cook, or I could cook, or I might cook food for everyone. Let us take another example. If I played cricket for India, I could, I would, I might refer you to the minister. If I played cricket for India, but I do not play cricket for India. That is something which we need to understand by this sentence. So what is the construction? If past tense, comma, then followed by would, could, might, plus the base form of the verb. One more use of the conditional tense is to talk about an event which did not happen in the past. For example, if I had reached home early, I could have cooked food for everyone. It indicates that I did not reach home early in the past. But if I had reached home early, I could have cooked food for everyone. So therefore, we are talking about something that did not happen in the past. We are speculating about something that did not happen in the past. If I had reached home early, I would have cooked food for everyone. So in this sentence, we use the word would instead of could. If I had reached home early, I might have cooked food for everyone. So you would notice that the construction of this sentence is if past perfect, then followed by could have, oblique would have, or might have, plus the past participle. And this construction is used to speculate about something that did not happen in the past. Next, we move on to mood. Mood is used to indicate the attitude of author towards the action indicated in the sentence. There are three types of moods: indicative, imperative, and subjunctive. We are more concerned with subjunctive mood because people make errors in the use of sentences expressed in subjunctive mood. So, subjunctive mood is used to express several unreal states. For example, wish, emotion, possibility, request. So, these are the things that subjunctive mood is used to express. For example, the typical words that take subjunctive mood: ask, demand, determine, insist, move, order, pray, prefer, recommend, regret, request, and require, suggest, and wish. So these are the verbs that will generally take subjunctive mood. The subjunctive for the present tense third person singular drops the s or the es so that it looks and sounds like present tense. Now this might sound complicated, it is not. Just take a look at this example. He requested that he be relieved of his additional responsibility. So here the word or the verb is request, and we see that it appears in our list of words that are used for subjunctive mood. So he requested that he be relieved, not he is relieved. He requested that he be relieved of his additional responsibility. Take another example. She asked that each boy report his score. Look at the difference. She asked. Again, this word ask appears in our list of words that take the subjunctive mood. That each boy report and not reports. The S is dropped. Generally, each is singular, which should take the verb reports with an S. And because this sentence is expressed in the subjunctive mood, therefore, she asked that each boy report his score. And not, she asked that each boy reports his score. That is wrong. The subjunctive mood of the verb to be is be in the present tense and were in the past tense, regardless of what the subject is. Let us see. I wish she was able to drive the car. It is a wish. Again, this sentence is expressed in subjunctive mood. And therefore, instead of was, we will use the word were as indicated above. So, I wish she were able to drive a car. Similarly, I wish I was on a vacation. Again, it's a wish. So it is an unreal state and therefore expressed in the subjunctive mood. The correct construction should be I wish I were on a vacation. So with this, we come to an end of this session of verbs. In case you have any feedback or any query, feel free to write to us at studentservices@pfindia.com. Thank you.